Let's start with the concept of positive thinking. At its core, positive thinking is a mindset that looks for the good in any situation, the beauty in the world, and the opportunities within problems. A person who practices positive thinking is always ready to find solutions, rather than dwelling on what's wrong. Think of those classic motivational phrases like "focus on the bright side," or "do what makes you happy." These quotes capture the spirit of positive thinking, but it's much more complex than just catchy slogans. And while every saying should be understood in its proper context, these phrases give us a glimpse into the broader ideology of positivity. That's the central idea we'll focus on. So why do we even need positive thinking? In the past, society was simpler. Our grandparents often lived in tight-knit communities where life followed predictable routines. Work was steady, and personal roles were clearly defined. A child was expected to obey their parents, show respect, and grow into a job already laid out for them. A daughter might work in a factory just like her mother. A marriage could be arranged before a child was even born. Life came with a built-in scriptone that gave people purpose, even if it was repetitive. Fast forward to now, and everything's changed. We live in an era of globalization, consumerism, and constant internet access. We have the freedom to be whoever we want, something older generations could only dream of. Kids today are practically born with smartphones. They're debating on YouTube before they even turn 18. And many of us spend more time scrolling through social media than talking to people in real life. But with this flood of freedom comes a quiet chaos. The old values feel outdated, but we haven't quite replaced them. Every choice from what to eat to who to love feels like a decision with no clear answer. So we overthink, regret, second guess. We're overwhelmed by options, yet feel spiritually homeless. That's where positive thinking often comes in, offering emotional relief, like a life raft in a sea of uncertainty. In the face of modern confusion and dissatisfaction, many of us turn to instant pleasures. We drown ourselves in video games, music, movies, social media, even sugary drinks and clickbait articles. These things feel good for a moment, but once the buzz wears off, we're left staring at the same old sense of emptiness. It's like trying to fill a deep well with teaspoons of rain. In these moments, the philosophy of positive thinking shows up, shining like a beacon of hope. Believe in yourself. Change your mindset. Change your life. Speak good things into existence. At first glance, it all sounds inspiring, almost magical. It fuels us with motivation and gives us the illusion of control. For a little while, it works. But eventually, we fall back into disappointment. Why? Because we're trying to believe in something that might not be real. Positive thinking often skips over the real roots of our struggles. It pushes solutions instead of asking hard questions. And society eats this up. Just look at the self-help shelves at any bookstore. Guides on how to fix your life are always top sellers. Everyone loves a quick fix. Yet, the deeper and more meaningful work digging into the root causes of our problems is rarely done. Even when self-help books mention causes, the explanations are usually oversimplified. They create the illusion that things are easy to solve. That's part of why they sell so well. Search for happiness on YouTube, and you'll find endless videos offering tips, habits, and step-by-step guides to feel better. But very few ask the tough questions. What is happiness? Really? Why do we even feel unhappy in the first place? It's not that solutions are bad. It's that they often distract us from exploring the real reasons why we feel stuck in the first place. Let's look at a specific example to understand how tricky it is to deal with the root of a problem. Take going to the gym something so many college students in the U.S. try to commit to. From New Year's resolutions to summer body goals, we tell ourselves this time we'll stick with it. We're flooded with motivation videos, 30-day challenges, TikTok fitness hacks, and perfect routines from influencers. But despite all that, sticking to the gym still feels like a chore. Why? Because we rarely pause to ask ourselves the real question: why do we even want to work out in the first place? Ask around, and you'll hear things like, to look better, impress someone, gain confidence, avoid judgment, fit into certain clothes, or get more likes on social media. Sure, those reasons make sense a bit. They're surface level. They're about how we look to others, not how we feel inside. To actually make fitness a part of your life, you need real motivation. Not guilt, not pressure, something genuine. Maybe you want to feel stronger, have more energy during the day, sleep better, reduce stress, or just enjoy moving your body. If working out makes you feel alive, not ashamed, then it's easier to keep going. Think about little kids. They run, jump, move constantly, not because they have goals, but because it's fun. The truth is, a lot of us don't go to the gym because we enjoy it. We do it because we feel like we should. Because social media, peer pressure, or our own insecurity keeps whispering that we're not enough. So even when we force ourselves to show up, we're using willpower. And that same willpower is already worn thin by other pressures: getting good grades, applying for internships, managing relationships, keeping up appearances. Eventually, we burn out, and we quit not because we're lazy, but because we never started from a place of care. We started from a place of fear. And that burnout, it chips away at your drive. You're constantly pushing yourself to meet standards, so many standards that you barely have the energy to enjoy any of it. You tell yourself, I should go to the gym, but deep down, your heart's not in it. The spark is missing. Here's the hard truth: when your goals are only shaped by external pressure, your internal compass gets lost. Real purpose comes from inside you, not from checklists handed down by society. For fitness or any big goal to be sustainable, it has to connect to something you truly care about. If the reason you're working out is just to look good for others or avoid judgment, it won't stick. But if your reason is feeling stronger, reducing stress, or simply enjoying movement, then you'll find your own way. That's why kids thrive when they play and move naturally. They're not chasing perfect bodies, they are just chasing fun. And yet, we still force ourselves to pursue goals out of fear of being left behind, of disappointing our families, of not measuring up. Even when our minds resist, we pressure ourselves anyway. Society, family, and our own logic convince us we have to succeed. So we march forward, trying to work out, trying to improve a because of anxiety, not passion. This shows how complex root causes can be. They're deeply personal. Everyone's circumstances, personalities, and motivations are unique. No formula can capture all that. That's why many self-help books avoid digging into causes. They prefer to stick with easy solutions that are cheap, tasty, and fast, just like fast food. And readers keep coming back, hoping for a fix that never quite arrives. So we keep putting out emotional fires without ever asking, why do they keep starting in the first place? Here's where things get tricky. Positive thinking can become addictive. Just like we get hooked on caffeine or sugar, we can also crave that emotional high we get from feel-good messages. When you're feeling low, a motivational quote or a 5-step guide to success can give you a rush. You feel inspired, even invincible for a while. Psychologists call this emotional stimulation. It floods your brain with chemicals like endorphins. Just reading about believing in yourself can light up your mind, even if nothing has changed. And the more you chase that high, the more you rely on it. Before you know it, you're hooked on inspiration instead of actually doing the work. Think of it like this: every time you feel stressed or disappointed, you reach for another article, another video, another tip. You get temporary relief, but you're not building resilience. Instead, your emotional immune system weakens. When you finally face a real setback, when your partner cheats, when your dream job ghosts, your mind might crack under the weight of reality. This is why always labeling things as positive or negative is dangerous. We start to avoid feelings that seem dark or uncomfortable, even if they're totally natural. Envy, sadness, procrastination, and even just lying in bed all day hugging your cat are not evil. They're part of being human. But in the world of positive thinking, anything that isn't upbeat gets labeled bad. So we suppress it. And when we fail to live up to the ideal, we feel guilty. We think we're not good enough. That guilt piles up, layer by layer, until we're exhausted from trying to be better. The truth is, so-called bad emotions aren't wrong. They're just signals. Ignoring them doesn't make them go away, it just buries them deeper. And real healing doesn't come from smiling through the pain. It comes from facing it.